By virtue of the powers granted by the Privy Council, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland is this day holding a congregation for the conferment of degrees. Our ceremony begins with the conferment of an honorary degree. The authority of degree awarding powers resides with the Academic Board of the Conservatoire, which may confer an honorary degree of doctor upon any person it considers has made a truly outstanding contribution to their profession and whose achievement richly deserve high distinction and recognition. I now invite Nick Koonsberg, Chairman of the Board of Governors, to introduce the sponsor for the honorary graduate.
Principal Sharkey, it gives me great pleasure to invite Ros Madison, Head Production and Film, to sponsor Paul A. Constable for the degree of Doctor of Production Arts.
Chairman, Governors of the Conservatoire, members of the Academic Board, graduates, lords, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Pauline Constable. As with most successful production practitioners, her name may not be familiar to you, but her work most certainly will be. She has designed the lighting for over 30 productions with the National Theatre alone, including War Horse, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, His Dark Materials, Angels in America, and Follies. She has also worked with, amongst others, the Royal Shakespeare Company, the Royal Court, the Lyric Hammersmith, the Donmar Warehouse, and on West End musicals such as Evita and Les Miserables. And that's just some of her theatre credits. In dance, she has collaborated frequently with Matthew Bourne and with the Royal Ballet, and her opera productions include many designs for the Royal Opera House, the English, Welsh, and Scottish National Opera Companies, Glyndebourne, and the Metropolitan Opera in New York. There is also a list of accolades on her website, but we'll get to that later. In fact, Paulie is undoubtedly the UK's most prolific and most celebrated female lighting designer. So how did that happen? Paulie's father was an RAF fighter pilot, so she spent much of her formative years moving around the world. And whilst that has nothing to do with lighting, she credits this upbringing with her ability to make friends quickly, which she certainly does. On leaving school, she had no idea what she wanted to do and ended up reading English at Goldsmiths College, London. Things took a turn in the first summer there, when her flatmate, Jackie, secured a summer job as a follow spot operator at the Hackney Empire. She then fell madly in love with a guy called Crispin and went off to Spain instead. So when the theatre phoned, Paulie, in true School of Rock fashion, said she was Jackie and turned up in her place. She quickly made friends with the other follow spot operator, after confessing she had no idea what she was doing, and stayed there for the rest of the summer, doing, as she puts it, lots of climbing and taking things apart. She then added drama to her degree pathway and continued to seek out lighting technician jobs in her spare time. For the first few years, work came primarily from the music industry, until she met her partner Ian, who worked in experimental theatre. And it was in this environment that she was introduced to something called a lighting designer. One such designer was Ben Ormerod, and it was through Ben that Paulie secured her first professional lighting design credit. The job was with 784 Scotland, and the production was The Irresistible Rise of Arturo Ui, featuring another professional debut from an unknown RSMD acting graduate named David Tennant. It was also on this show that Paulie met the designer Ray Smith. In an interview with Nick Moran, Paulie called it love at first show, and the two have since collaborated on many productions across their careers. Paulie and Ray had both worked with Theatre de Complicité, and when Ray was asked to design Street of Crocodiles, a co-production with the National Theatre in London, Paulie talked to the director, Simon McBurney, and convinced him to give her the role of lighting designer. This in itself was quite an achievement. After all, she was only 25 at the time, and by taking the job, she became the first woman to light a show at the National. It also gave her an Olivier Award nomination, which she admits was life-changing. The offers of work started to roll in, and although Paulie carried on working with Simon McBurney at Complicité, she also made some other key connections with directors such as Katie Mitchell and another RSAMD graduate, David McVicker. Through David, Paulie was introduced to the world of opera, an art form that she now describes as impossible, but if you get anywhere near to making it good, it's extraordinary. She made her Royal Opera House debut in 1990, and since then has established a strong relationship with Glyndebourne Festival Opera, which she fondly calls home, collaborating in both venues with the aforementioned and Sir David McVicker. As you can tell, much of her career has been based not only on that ability to make friends quickly, but also on the subsequent long professional relationships that have followed. Paulie is an associate director of the National Theatre. She is an associate of both the Lyric Theatre and Matthew Bourne's New Adventures. She has won 4 Olivier Awards and 2 Tony Awards for Best Lighting Design. She is a recipient of the Hospital Award for contribution to theatre, and she has won the Night of Illumination Award 3 times. But it hasn't all been plain sailing. Paulie has encountered her fair share of barriers and recalls an occasion when, as a female lighting designer, a director suggested she was most suited to studio work and probably couldn't handle the bigger venues. She now speaks out in support of equality and diversity in all of its forms, but feels a particular moral responsibility to act as a role model for women in the industry. She is a driving force, a risk taker, an innovator, an activist, a role model, a collaborator, an inspiration, and a quickly made friend. I therefore ask the Principal to confer the degree of Doctor of Production Arts honoris causa on Paulie Constable.
By virtue of the powers granted by the Privy Council to the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland to confer an honorary degree of the Conservatoire upon any person it may deem worthy of such distinction, and in the name of the Academic Board, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Production Arts honoris causa. Congratulations. I now invite Dr. Paulie Constable to address our graduates.
I'll be very brief. You're often used to hearing people who are better trained to address an audience than me. I love sitting at the back in the dark. It's where I'm most comfortable. An extraordinary honour. Thank you so much. And to be in a room full of just young people on the beginning of their journey, I'm very jealous. And I also wish you all an incredible journey. I want to ask you one thing, which is on that journey, please take care. Take care of each other. We talk about diversity and we talk about becoming a more open community for people and a safer community, and we all share that responsibility, so take care of each other. And also take care of the decisions we make and how we make our work in this ever-changing and troubled world. Climate crisis is something we're living with, and I really, really encourage you to put this in your work and in your hearts. And lastly, I just want to share a quote that I'm sure many of you as designers know, but perhaps some of you haven't heard before, but it inspires me daily. When I sit alone in a theatre and gaze into the dark space of its empty stage, I am frequently seized by fear that this time I won't manage to penetrate it, and I always hope that this fear will never desert me. Without an unending search for the key to the secret of creativity, there is no creation. It is necessary to always begin again, and that is beautiful. They're the words of Joseph Swoboda. They keep me going. So enjoy your journey, embrace the fear, remain bold, and good luck.
now invite the directors to present their graduands for their awards.
Principal, with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you this graduate who has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy by the University of St Andrews, having successfully completed a programme of study in the School of Music at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. For a thesis entitled "The Composer is Present, a creative exploration of the role of the composer within the work," Dr. Shona Mackay.
Principal, in the name of the School of Drama, Dance, Production and Film, and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Digital Film and Television. Paul Barry. Paul Cochrane. Rebecca Dean. Duncan Formosa. Reef Gaskell. Victoria Jones. Martin MacLeod. Sam Wiraguzu. Thorsten Oleson. Caro Piatila. Onsi Tusanen. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Production Arts and Design. Nadia Anderson. Joshua Calder. Joanne Curtis. Ruth Lily Darling. Karen Fraser. Trun Halverson. Mirren Hunter Uri. Rory Mackenzie. Danielle Miller. Emily Rankin. Neil Scott Martin. Jack Sheehan. Amanda Toms. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Production Technology and Management. Poppy Apter. Ross Brodie. Darryl Campbell. Fraser Thomas Charrington. Jack Coventry. Hadley Fagan. Alan Hamilton. James Hamilton. Dylan Hodgson. Regan Kelly. Rachel Matthews. Simon McEwen. James McQueen. Rosie Orford. Jessica Reed. Stephen Selby. Craig Stevenson. Karen Wilson.
Principal, in the name of the School of Music and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Education in Music. With honours of the first class, Alexandra Griffin. Amelia Mitchell. George Morris. Ella Monroe. Mark Robertson. Rebecca Taylor. Megan Winchester. With honours of the second class, Ailey Austin. Eve Brebner. Hannah Carroll. Emma Clucky. Emily Collins. Megan Gibson. Mark Gilmore. Paul Haggerty. Kieran Haxton. Michael Hepburn. Ross Herbertson. Kieran Hunter. Christopher Kelly. Rebecca Marshall. Karina McHugh. Robert Tennant. Kira Wilson. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Music in Traditional Music. With honours of the first class, Iona Fife. Samuel Mabbitt. Ross Tennant. Romy Weimer. With honours of the second class, Callum Morton Teng. Rachel Rutherford. On behalf of the partnership comprising the Conservatoire and the National Piping Centre, and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Music in Traditional Music, Piping. With honours of the second class, Cho Lam Lee. Shoros Lewis. Robin Mackay. And for the ordinary degree, Cameron McDougall.
Principal, in the name of the Directorate of Fair Access and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you this graduate who has been found worthy to receive the Master of Arts in Learning and Teaching Gaelic Arts, Rachel Kennedy. With the authority of the Academic Board and the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present you this graduate who has been found worthy to receive the Master of Education in Learning and Teaching in the Performing Arts, Lynn Shaw. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the Postgraduate Diploma in Learning and Teaching Gaelic Arts, Murren Kelly. Kerry MacDonald. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the Postgraduate Certificate in Learning and Teaching in Higher Arts Education, Caroline Hurst. Thomas Taylor. And Cara Todd. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I request that you confer the appropriate degree upon those graduates listed as in absentia in the programme.
Principal, I have pleasure in presenting to you the winner of this year's Principal's Prize for All-Round Excellence in the School of Music, Megan Winchester.
Honored guests, graduates, a very warm welcome to all of you. Today is a special day for everyone in this room and for all of us at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. We're here to celebrate, reflect, and perhaps most important of all, to look forwards and outwards to life beyond these walls. May I start by offering my warmest congratulations to you, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland's class of 2019. Congratulations. As you can hear, we're immensely proud of each and every one of you. Over the time of your studies, you've been part of the fabric of life here. And when you depart today, you leave behind your artistic imprint, as I hope we leave a lasting imprint on all of you. Today, it's also been our great pleasure to celebrate the achievements of our newest honorary doctor, Dr. Polly Constable. Polly, it's been wonderful to honor your achievements and the significance of your contribution that you make to making live theater as powerful as an experience could be for all audiences. You've described lighting as a vital creative muscle and part of the storytelling. As well as being a practitioner par excellence in bringing this to life, you have been and continue to be a great activist in encouraging more women into stage management and into the technical crafts and skills arena. And for that, we applaud you and thank you. Congratulations once again, Dr. Constable. Back to the class of 2019. For all of us at the RCS community, we're shaped in part because we're right here in Glasgow and we're here in Scotland, a city and nation where culture is valued, is shared generously, and has something for everyone. When you leave us as graduates, whether or not you remain in Glasgow, you will take a part of this city with you. Its humor, its genuine warmth in human terms, if not in degrees Celsius. And I'm certain that the time you've spent here will form an important part of the next chapter and stage of your life. In thanking you and celebrating your achievements, there's a group of special people that you and I need to thank for the part they've played in supporting you. And that's your family and friends here, and also those not able to be with us here today. So graduates, as they're celebrating your achievements, can I ask you to be upstanding and to applaud your audience as a way of saying thank you for everything they've done. Thank you again to our families and friends. I wanted to share some thoughts with all of you before you go on your way. Everyone in this room knows and understands the power and importance of the arts to individual lives within communities and across society. Asserting this here may be preaching to the converted, but I'll say it anyway. We believe wholeheartedly that all children need access in their schools to arts education. And, should they want it and benefit from it, the opportunity for progression in their art form. This should not be based on postcode or on ability to pay. Arts education should be affordable and accessible to all, not just because it's nice to do, but because it's a requirement for thriving in the world that we live in. Harvard's first female president, Drew Faust, who retired last year, was a historian by background. And she described the skills gained from the arts and humanities as being at the core of leadership. She said, they teach us how to scrutinize the things at hand. They impart skills that slow us down, the habit of deliberation, the critical eye. They build skills that give us capacity to interpret and judge human problems, and the concentration that yields meaning in a world that is noisy with information, confusion, and change. I'd go further and say these are not just leadership skills, but essential life skills. Empathy, self-awareness, teamwork, creativity, sensitivity, confidence. These are not the often named soft skills, but these are power skills, and we need them more than ever especially if we hope to navigate through and harness the so-called Fourth Industrial Revolution. This is a revolution that's happening already, where we need not only to be reminded of what makes us distinctly human, but where our humanity will be required to navigate the perils and possibilities to maintain an ethical and compassionate society. You, our graduates, have these power skills in abundance, and it's now your job, as it is ours, to share them and give other people the chance to learn them. I don't need to tell you the world out there is anxious, chaotic, and constantly changing. Within it, we live in an increasingly transactional way where we shop online, pay by waving our phones at a machine, we plug into the content of our choice, and too often we check out of communal discourse. And there are protests springing up at borders everywhere across the world as we seek to classify and define who is allowed in and who isn't, creating even more barriers, both physical and philosophical, between our common humanity. Within this fractured and increasingly automated environment, we still crave warmth and real communal experiences with fellow human beings. And this means performing and creative artists like you need to become more central to help preserve a more inclusive society that overcomes difference and brings us together. You have this convening power. You can influence what happens, and you can help shape how we respond to events and situations. Your time at RCS has provided you with the megaphone and the microscope. It's up to you to fill the blank canvas with a kaleidoscope of ideas, to refine these through your craft, to reflect, shape, and transform. As our graduates, you are empowered to take everything that is essential and important about your time here and apply it with a passion and a confidence in whatever you choose to do next. So go then and be active, creative citizens of the world, and do so with our love and encouragement to be the best that you can be in a world that needs you more than ever. Thank you. This congregation is now ended. Please be upstanding for our graduates.